What up, YouTube? It's your boy, Detroit Love, with another video. And today we're talking about the Dreamcast, Sega Dreamcast, and the GDEMU. But before we even talk about this box, we need to talk about this system.
What up,
Let's get
though?
it started.
It's your boy Detroit Love. Arcade vibes, retro tech, that's what I'm made of. From golden age days to mods that amaze, I help you build setups that'll blow you away.
The Sega Dreamcast wasn't just a console, it was a moment in time. September 9th, 1999. 9/9/99. But here's something a lot of people don't know. I never actually owned a Dreamcast back then. All of my Dreamcast memories lived through my best friend Sean Campbell. This was his console, his TV, his living room. I was a Nintendo household at the time, and not long after, I made the jump to Sony. So whenever I think about Dreamcast, I see that orange swirl growing on Sean's screen. Me and Sean spent hours with this system, and one of the games that changed everything for us was NFL 2K. This wasn't just another football game. It looked like a real broadcast. It sounded like one. The presentation, the camera angles, the commentary, the crowd, it all felt alive. And then there was the VMU, that little memory card with a screen. Calling your plays privately, no screen peeking, no guessing. That was revolutionary. We'd sit there talking for hours, not just about how fun the game was, but how bold it was. Because NFL 2K wasn't trying to coexist with Madden. It was coming straight at it. And Sega priced it to win. For a moment, it worked until the industry changed. In 2004, EA Sports secured an exclusive NFL license. Starting with the 2005 season, the deal ended the competition. And just like that, NFL 2K was gone. Not long after, the Dreamcast followed. And I wanted to be clear about something. These memories matter to me because Sean, the person I shared these moments with, is no longer with us. So this isn't just nostalgia. This is connection. And I can't rely on scratch discs or aging media or failing optical drives to be the thing that holds those memories together. Physical media breaks down. Discs warp. Data fades. And when the memories are this important, that's not a risk I'm willing to take. And that's why we're here. Because the GDEMU isn't just a mod, it's preservation. It replaces the Dreamcast optical drive with solid state storage, faster loading times, quieter operation, and most importantly, reliability. And on top of that, I'm a technology guy. And there's no version of me that owns a console without at least considering the modifications available. Not to change what made it special, but to protect it. The GDEMU keeps the original Dreamcast experience intact. Same timing, same feel, same games. Just without the weakest link in the system deciding whether today is the day it gives up. And now, 25 years later, I finally have a Dreamcast of my own. A gift from my younger brother Antonio. And that hits different. Because this isn't just about revisiting old memories, it's about restoring them and opening the door to discoveries that I never got to experience the first time around. So today, as we unbox and install the GDEMU, we're not just upgrading the console, we're preserving history, protecting memories, and giving the Dreamcast the future it always deserved. Let's get into it. Alright, the four screws are out and we secured them to the side. We're going to remove this top tray, lift straight off. The first thing we're going to do is press the power button a couple of times. There's no power connected to the unit currently, but this just helps to make sure there's no residual charge left in the system. Probably overkill, but it doesn't hurt. Now that we're inside, this is the GD-ROM here, this black item in the center. It's held in place by 3 screws, so we're just going to identify those 3. They're real easy to see in person. And there you go, 1, 2, 3. We're going to remove those. I'll just speed this up just a little bit. Now, once those are out, the entire disk drive and assembly will lift straight up and out. There's no cables to disconnect. There is one little clip to fight with on the right side. You just simply take your screwdriver and just give it a slight little poke onto that little clip, and then this thing will just pop straight up and out. Now, this is where the GDEMU kit really starts to make sense. So before we install the board, we want to point out this piece right here. These 2 pieces. This is the sled. This is the SD card sled. It's going to go into this 3D printed SD card tray, and it's going to be secure. They have those little bump outs on there that allows it to go slide in here, and those 2 screw points there you see there, they supply 2 small screws that will, when screwed down, the heads are big enough to keep this thing from sliding out. You see that point there, that little part there, it's sort of like a T, is going to get locked in by the screw head. And so the screw head definitely takes a little finagling to get this thing screwed in. There's 2 of them. If you have a screwdriver that's magnetically charged, that will make all of these screws drive a lot faster. Without it, you would be like me, struggling to keep that screw in hand in order to get it in place. Now, I do want to point out that I saved some money on this unit, probably $30, and with that savings meant that they did not provide a single bit of instructions, no link, no sticker, no card saying, hey, go check this video out, nothing. You just got all the pieces as you saw me open up, and you left on your own to figure it out. So anyone in 2026 that get save some money on their kit, they can benefit from this video of me figuring out where all of these parts out are. Other kits are similar, but they have additional parts, and so there's going to be a slight difference. So in trying to save the cost, they eliminated parts that you would otherwise have with a more expensive kit. Now, I'm not sure why it's taking me so long to get this last screw in here, but we're all set now, and it's locked in. Now you can actually put the SD card in here, and that tray is going to stay in place, because this is a self-ejecting slot like you're used to with SD cards. So when you push down on it, it'll pop it out. Without these screws, this whole extender would just fall back into your machine. So you want to put the board in where it is facing down. You want to slide the SD extension cable into the SD card slot on that board. And see, this is where the kit shines, because otherwise you would have to try to do this by reaching your hand inside of the machine. And then right to the right of that was the reset button. And so now you could have put the button in prior to putting this first screw in, but to me it makes sense to put that first screw in, because then that button won't have the opportunity to slide back out. So you secure this first screw, and then you can just uh, sort of slide the other half of the board down so that you can reveal that hole there. Um, and then you can just take the reset button, the little plastic blue cylinder piece there. You see that center round piece? That is the point that will push this button. See that button down there inside the hole? That's the reset button. That's how you get back to the main menu on the unit once you're in a game. So you just insert that down into its slot with that little centerpiece being up so that it can touch the button when you press down on it. And so you can hear the little clicking there. That thing works perfectly fine. And so now I will take the time to put in the screw. So you have two screws that are locked in the SD extender sled. You have two screws that lock the board to this 3D printed, and then you're going to have two screws that secure this whole assembly to the bottom of the case. So one is going to be at the end of that little blue piece that extends out. Um, Again, the button works fine. You have access to your sled. Um, and so now you're going to, they gave you a little cylinder blue piece. Initially, I thought, what is this for? But it allows you to mount this with the longer screw and put that down into the board. So you're going to secure that one screw uh, through that board and the other one on the back side, securing that blue 3D printed piece to the base of this case. So you just sit it in place, make sure you plug in the actual board into the slot that's provided, and then you just simply, it doesn't take but maybe a half a turn, 1.5 turns to secure that longer screw inside that cylinder, and then you just lock in this final screw again if you have a magnetically charged uh, screwdriver. This will be much easier to do than what I had. Alright, so this tray makes that car accessible. Otherwise, you see that opening there, you would just simply have that opening there. You would have to reach your hand down there to try and push the reset button or to insert or remove the SD card. But now this thing fits in there perfectly. It blocks dirt and debris and for things, keep things from just falling down in there. Um, and this is how you would insert the SD card in there. There is an additional tray which you'll see later that's like a storage slot so that you can actually access a backup SD card and just keep it stored in the unit. So now to finish this thing up, we just need to put these 4 screws back in, and that is it. It really didn't take that long to do. Again, it takes longer when you don't know what to do. So in my case, it took longer, and plus I'm, videotaping it, so it takes longer to set up the camera or make sure a certain thing is in view. But for you, as long as you watch a video like this a couple of times before then, in 2026, you will have no problem saving some money with the least expensive board. You just don't want to get the one that doesn't have the 3D printed uh, tray at all. You definitely want to get it whether it has that extra piece that it goes on or just this standard pieces. This works perfectly fine. So now we're going to turn this thing on. Again, you pop the button. That will give you access to the button to hit the reset, and it'll also give you access to the sled. Access your card. Other than that, it looks the same. Power it on. Powers up the same way. Battery doesn't work on here, so it doesn't keep the time. So I need to do that as the next mod. And here on the menu, just simply click play to proceed. You heard, and it'll go into the, you see here, the GD menu is loading up, which displays on the screen. This particular device came with an 8 GB card, includes 6 games. There's 7 items, but the first one is the menu program itself, GD menu, and you have those 6 games. So these included 6 games. Most of in the menu or in the game may have Japanese or Chinese lettering, so they're the Japanese version, I believe. So you definitely want to get your version so you have the English text. So we're going to start Dead or Alive 2 just to test out and make sure that everything functions as it should. And so that's what we're going to do.
この戦いには絶対に勝つ。
早手への力、お前は死なせん。そのわけにはいかん。
Of course, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. Come on. Where's kicking? There we go. No, I still wasn't kicking. I still quite figured out these moves. Okay. All right. That's a lot of extra. Oh, okay. Okay. Hold up on me. Okay, you got that one. Yeah. I still ain't figured nothing out, but I figured out a way to live. To reset it, now this thing, because it's not a CD reader anymore, is a SD card. This can actually operate with this door open. Press the reset button, and that will reset back to this main menu. Pretty simple. So there you have it, the first mod of my Dreamcast, installing the GDEMU, which is a optical drive emulator, which allows me to now store my games on the SD card as opposed to worrying about CD-ROMs, discs that can be scratched and that type of thing. And so we're all done here. So we have our USB, SD card installed here in the back, but they also have a slot here for additional cards that you can store. So you might have multiple drives you can swap out, and you would just simply, turn it off. And the nice thing is, because there's no spinning disc, this thing can operate open just like this. So I went with the blue 3D printed portion there, giving access to reset and also to insert the SD drive there, and I can swap out at any time and then store the secondary one there. So that's going to do it for now. Stay tuned, subscribe to the channel. There's definitely going to be more mods, gameplay, and discovery of the Dreamcast, Sega Dreamcast in 2026. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like the video. Comment what's your favorite Dreamcast game or Dreamcast memory in the comments. I appreciate you. And until next time, I'll see you on the web.